New polling shows that only a quarter of non-homeowners believe that they'll be able to buy a home in the next 5 years. And many of them, mostly young Americans, believe that they won't buy any time for the foreseeable future. So joining me now is Chen Zhao, the head of economic research at Redfin. And Chen, first, thank you so much for your time. But listen, I mean, we're seeing mortgage rates climb higher this week as bond yields creep up. I'm curious, what is driving that and what does it mean for affordability?
Hi, Alex. Thanks so much for having me on today. Yeah, we are seeing that mortgage rates are creeping up a little bit because as gas prices surge, there is concern amongst investors that that will drive inflation and that inflation means that the Fed will have to hold rates higher for a little bit longer. And then there's a little bit of fear creeping in now that they might even have to hike at some point, although I feel like that might be a little bit overblown.
Well, and let's talk about the average price of a home right now. It grew 1% year over year in March to about $437,000. What does a single person have to make to be able to afford something like that?
So yes, it is true that home prices have increased a lot, especially since the pandemic. We've seen that, especially during the pandemic years, there was double-digit growth in many markets and home prices. But you know what the good news is that even though affordability may seem pretty daunting right now, over the last year or so, home price growth has really moderated. So right now, home prices across the country on average are really increasing only 1% a year. And that is actually lower than the rate of inflation. It's also lower than people's wages are increasing. So what that means is that after a lot of years when home prices were really increasing very rapidly, finally people are now having a chance to allow their incomes to catch up to where home prices are. So the affordability picture will look a lot better in the coming years.
Yeah, well, and I want to talk about that poll that we mentioned in the intro here, how AI is affecting perception as to whether or not non-homeowners will be able to afford a home. Listen, I mean, going forward, we're going to be relying on AI just more and more. So I'm curious, I mean, it seems like that's going to be a huge influence on the security concerns whenever it comes to the job market. How is that going to play out with real estate, do you think?
Yeah, we all love our new ChatGPT friends, I think. But it is, we do see it happening, this coming through in the housing market. Nationally, when we look across the country, we see that most markets right now are buyers markets. That means that nationally across the country, there's on average about 43% more home sellers than there are home buyers. And that's what's causing home price growth to be very tepid right now. So most markets are fairly weak right now, but there's only one place where the market is really very strong, and that is in San Francisco. And there we see that sales are increasing about 22% year over year right now, and prices are increasing pretty rapidly. And a lot of that is being driven by the AI boom. But meanwhile, when you zoom out to the broader economy, a lot of people do feel a little bit shaky about their finances. We did a survey that found that 1/3 of American workers are delaying or canceling major home purchase or major purchases right now, and that includes home purchases because they are worried about job security. And 27% of the respondents said that they were very worried about their job security, and their top concerns were the company's performance and AI. So that really is coming through right now.
Yeah, certainly very, very telling there, Chen Zhao. Hey, thank you so much for your insights today.